Welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. Well, let's talk about this one. And I think we talked about this one a little bit before, but I'm going to take it to a different level. So stay tuned for the end of this. We're going to take it to the next level. And it's about Michael Jordan breaking up 2 dynasties and then starting another dynasty. Well, starting a dynasty. And then, to me, because the LeBron James fans always say, oh, you guys only count Michael Jordan's years when he won a championship. You guys only count the years when he won a championship. So we're going to talk about those years. Since they want to talk about those years, we're going to talk about those years. But first, a lot of people said, well, I posted this yesterday, and, people were saying, oh, self-research NBA Facts talked about this. He talked about this on this video. And I'm going to tell you what, I don't have nothing against the guy. I think he does excellent work. And, I watch his videos all the time. I'm not going to sit back and say I don't watch his videos. Look, there's people on YouTube that people who have channels, and they kind of act snobby, right? They act like they don't watch other people's videos. That's what they act like. They won't give shout outs to people no more. And they act like their platform is just number one. I'm not talking about self-research NBA Fact. I ain't talking about him. But a lot of these guys out here, they don't like calling anybody else's name out no more, because to me, they just act snobby. Act like their channel is all that, number one, can't be touched. And, if they watch somebody else's channel, like they're getting information from their channel. And to me, everybody's channel is unique and different. And it has to be that way, just so you can have a channel. Because if your channel sounds like somebody else, nobody's going to want to watch your channel if your channel sounds like somebody else's. Nevertheless, so somebody said, oh, he talked about that. Yes, I don't know if they were trying to be smart or they were just, mentioning it. But a lot of stuff that self-research NBA Facts talks about on his channel, and I know his channel ain't been up for a long time, but the fact is, a lot of us was putting out videos on the subjects that he talks about. A lot of this stuff that he comes out with, the numbers, we were saying this stuff first. We got videos to back up. We were putting out this information first. Now, a lot of the stuff that he does put out, you got to give him credit, because we never knew a lot of this stuff. Because, that's what he does. He just does numbers. Straight up. So he don't really do like soap opera drama and all that stuff for the most part. So, he's got a lot of stuff on there that we never knew about. We never dug that deep and stuff like that. So it's no knock against him. But what I'm trying to say is a lot of the stuff that he has said, we said that stuff a long time ago. We knew that stuff a long time ago. So, I mean, he didn't give us credit for it. He didn't give us credit for the numbers. Either I put them out, or I heard somebody else put them out. But yeah, he does a lot of stuff that, we never put out either. So I'm not trying to knock him or anything like that, but he's got a great channel. Nevertheless, a lot of times he can just bring you straight numbers. He won't, bring you the soap opera behind the whole thing. And you need a soap opera. Like I said before, this is why the MLB died, because you don't have a soap opera no more. Nobody cares about somebody just hitting the ball, catching the ball, running the ball, throwing the ball. That's great. But you need a soap opera to sell your league, right? You have Bird and Magic. You had Kareem and Wilt going at it. You had Russell and Wilt. You just had a soap opera to sell. You have Michael get past the Pistons get past the Celtics and the Lakers. You need a soap opera of greatness. Right? LeBron James has brought a clown show soap opera that wasn't greatness. And that ought to show you one thing about the NBA, where it eventually went. Kobe brought you a soap opera of winning back-to-back without Shaq. I mean, the soap opera was crazy if you think about it. Was left for dead by the media. We got smoked in the Olympics, in the FIBA. Kobe was able to bring back respect by bringing home gold in the FIBA, the Olympics, and then rounding off 3 straight NBA finals with no top 75 player and winning back-to-back. Huh? That's greater than any career achievement LeBron James has done by himself. Without it, he ain't did nothing without a super team. Dirk Nowitzki able to beat what they said was the greatest super team of all time up to that point. To me, that super team should have been better than Steph Curry and, a Kevin Durant super team, which I don't consider that a super team. Because it was only two number one franchise players and leaders of other teams. Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. LeBron James never played a super team. I mean, it's ridiculous what we've been fed. So this loser can win. He's a number two. Basically, that's what LeBron James is that. So let's get into this right here. Michael Jordan, as we know, in 91 was not the favorite to win the East, not to win the Eastern Conference. It was not the favorite to win the NBA Finals. Huh? What? That ain't what Nick Wright said. That ain't what Shannon Sharp said. Go look at the All-Star appearances, the All-NBA appearances on Michael Jordan's team versus the Pistons on their team, the All-NBA and the All-Stars, and on the Lakers. Those two teams, the Lakers and the Pistons, look at the All-Star appearances in the All-NBAs, and hell, the All-NBA defensives. And matter of fact, look at the Hall of Famers in the top 75 players. And you can see why Michael Jordan, up to that point, was not favored. For what? What was Michael Jordan favored for? Why would he be favored? He had a snotty nose, anorexic Scottie Pippen. That's all Michael Jordan had, who made one All-Star team up to that point. Wow. No Pip, no chip. Yep. When you can't achieve greatness, when you can't move greatness forward, what does that mean? When you can't continue to move greatness forward, like a Kobe Bryant did, like a Tim Duncan did, like a Michael Jordan did, like a Magic or a Bird or a Wilt or a Kareem or any of these guys, Bill Russell, Jerry West, continue to move greatness. What does that mean? It means they didn't stop the greatness from moving forward. They moved it forward. Whether they won or they lost. They just lost to the better team. But they didn't have to go out there and cheat and lie and make up stuff for their legacy. Their legacy was what it was. They got beat by the better team. Or they won because they was a better team. But they still pushed greatness forward. So, yeah, the Bulls weren't supposed to win in 91. And for a lot of people, that would have been a legacy breaker for Michael Jordan. They were able to sweep the Pistons and beat the Lakers 4-1. What's that all about? What's that all about? Well, it's all about Michael Jordan telling his teammates, wake the hell up. It's our time. These guys had their time. But it wasn't, it was something that had to be taken. Something that had to be taken. The Pistons wasn't winning just because it was their time. It was something that had to be taken. That's just the way it was. Same thing with any all-time great team. It was their time. Hakeem Olajuwon, he was sick of getting the hell beat out of him for all those years. Michael Jordan retired. It was his time, but he had to take it. To me, Hakeem was great before he was winning championships. But look at the championship years that he won back-to-back. This man took it to another level. We've never seen that from Hakeem as far as scoring. Hakeem took that to another level in defense. Hakeem was like, no, you ain't taking this, Shaq. You just came in. Mike is gone. I'm going to need that. I lost the Bird in the finals. I've been getting my ass kicked in the West all these years by the Lakers. No, this is mine, Ewing. I know we came in basically at the same time, almost, but this is mine. The competition that you play is going to make you better. So it was Hakeem's time, but it wasn't just his time. He had to take it. And he had to take his game to the next level. And he had to wake his teammates up. Wake up. To me, if we want to look at where the three-point contest started, to me, it was with the Rockets. I remember the Rockets bombing away from three. The Rockets was that team that was always bombing away from three. Vernon Maxwell and Kenny Smith and what's this guy's name? Sam Cassell. All these guys, even Robert Horry was out there sometimes. All these dudes was bombing away from three. That's what I remember. And I guess you could say the Magic to an extent. The Magic was always out there bombing away at three. But I know you guys remember it too. If you was around at that time, the Rockets was bombing away at three. I think we should give that to the Rockets. You know, who was the originators of shooting them threes like that. It was definitely the Rockets. You was done. In that 2 years, maybe 3 years, because they was doing it probably about a year before they won the championship. But in those 2 years where they won the championship, oh my goodness. If you doubled Hakeem, you was finished. You was finished. If you doubled Hakeem, you was finished. Because Hakeem would just throw it back out to the open dude at the three-point line. Splash, splash. You was done. You was done. You was finished. And it was weird because when Orlando Magic ended up playing the Houston Rockets, it was kind of like a similar team. It was a similar team, if you ask me. The problem was Hakeem just went the hell off. And then these dudes weren't missing those shots. But these were similar teams. The double Shaq, they was kicking it out for the three. They was kicking it out for the three. Now, like I said, it was, you had to take it. It was your turn, you had to take it. So that's what the Bulls did. It was their turn, they took it. It wasn't like Michael Jordan defeated the Pistons and went the hell off. No, you weren't going to beat the Pistons like that. You just wasn't. And it didn't matter how many points Michael Jordan put up against the Pistons. Michael Jordan needed his team to wake the hell up. It was their time. It was that would have been 4 straight, right, for the Pistons. It would have just been rare for a team to go to the finals that many times in a row. I don't think any team went to the finals 4 times in a row back then. It was rare. Only team did that we know was the Celtics, that went 4 times in a row in the 60s. Those teams gonna go 4 times in a row. So it was the Bulls' time. And Michael Jordan just needed his team to wake up and let's do this. And they did it. Even though they wasn't favorites to win. So Michael Jordan and the Bulls, it's just incredible. We all know that they were going for 3 straight. The Pistons were going for 3 straight. That would have been a dynasty. And then the Lakers were going for 3 and 5 seasons. 3 and 5 seasons, they were going to try to win it, because that was 91. And I think they just won 87 and 88. So it would have been 3 and 5 seasons. Or is that 4? No, it can't be 4. I think it's 5. 88, 89, 90, 91. 3. It would have been a dynasty, I can tell you that. If they would have won in 91. That would have been the 3rd one. So that, not only a dynasty, that would have been their 2nd dynasty. That would have been their 2nd dynasty. The Lakers in the 80s, that would have been their 2nd dynasty. Right there. I know that would not have been the 80s, but in 91, but that would have been another dynasty. Not only that, that would have been a dynasty. Well, I can't say it would be without Kareem, because Kareem was part of 2 of them. But Magic would have won without Kareem, at least 1 championship. So before we go forward and look at the failure fans about Michael Jordan's championship years, and we only count those. We're going to look at them real quick. So, Michael Jordan, again, stopped the dynasty, stopped with the Pistons, stopped the three-peat, and then stopped Magic from starting another dynasty. Huh? In back, not only in the same season, in back-to-back finals, or back-to-back playoffs series, that he wasn't even favorite to win. That he wasn't even favorite to win. That he only had one all-star teammate, or one teammate that only made one all-star up to that point. And then let's say this, he went on to start a dynasty from that point. A three-peat. And if you want to be technical, well, you ain't got to be too technical, but the fact is, Michael Jordan had two different dynasties. Something that Magic was going for in 91. Magic would have had two different dynasties. Magic only won 5. He had like a dynasty in 3/4 or something like that, if you want to call it that. Michael Jordan didn't have a dynasty. Michael Jordan had two different dynasties. What? 2 different dynasties. That's crazy. When people say, oh, yeah, Michael Jordan won 2 3-peats. No. I mean, yes. But Michael Jordan had 2 different dynasties. That's nuts. LeBron James never had one damn dynasty. And we're comparing this guy, LeBron James, a guy who didn't show up to the NBA Finals, who choked, who melted down, who got embarrassed, who was a failure, versus Michael Jordan, who didn't just show up to the NBA Finals and win. He showed up to the NBA Finals, showed up and showed out. In 5 out of 6, to me, 5 out of 6 final series, he had the most memorable finals series of all time. The flu game, the last shot, the buzzer beater in 97, the up and under, the 3-pointers versus the Blazers, the performance he put on against Magic in the Lakers with all the assists, 35 points per game. I mean, it just goes on and on to 41 points a game. Michael Jordan didn't show up. He showed out. It's a difference. LeBron James showed up to the NBA Finals. Sometimes, I guess, he showed up sometimes, but he didn't show out. He don't have no memorable moments. A chase down block that kept the game tied. That's it. What you was playing with your super team against a team that wasn't even a super team? You did what? Oh boy, that was your second super team. You had to switch teams because you didn't want to compete. Wow, folks. Huh? Does that sound like the Michael Jordan route that was taken? Guy came into the league out of high school. This guy should have won about Bill Russell type of championships by now. The way they hyped this guy up, the way they put this guy on the pedestal. I seen a video the other day, and they were talking about Michael Jordan not being able to play in this era because the 3-pointers and how it's so fast. And you know what tickled my fancy was, well, the narrator, he goes on to say, oh, Michael Jordan could play in any era. They had to adapt to Michael Jordan. Every era had to adapt to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan didn't have to adapt to the era. The problem is, and you know, he was saying that everybody's still trying to be like Mike, trying to catch Mike. They're trying to emulate him, but nobody has. Nobody can. And the problem is, Michael Jordan, he never said he was the greatest of all time. Michael Jordan incorporated his game after all these guys that he looked up to when he was young. The Iceman Irvin, the Dr. J's, the Alex Englishes, you know, the Jerry. Just a lot of these guys he had respect for, looked up to. And that's why I said he don't consider him the greatest of all time, because he never played against his idols, the guys he grew up watching. But why Michael Jordan was the greatest of all time is because all those guys that I mentioned that he grew up watching, he incorporated their games into his as one. That's why he became unstoppable. You can't stop Michael Jordan because he understands everything about the court. What moves he's going to do in the air. Michael Jordan, I've never seen nothing like it. You try to defend him in the air, he's going to adjust on you and get the shot off and make it. He does things based on the situation. And one thing about Michael Jordan, why he was unstoppable, is because he didn't wait for you to size him up. Once he got the ball, he was just going to go to work. He was going to keep you off balance. He didn't sit there and dribble and dribble and dribble. Bad idea. Bad idea. Once he get the ball, he's going to work. Whether he's just going to shoot it right then or just take off. He ain't waiting for you. He's going to keep you off balance. Yeah, that's why Michael Jordan was so great. He had respect for the people that came before him. And a lot of their games were incorporated in what he did. Just a fact. So, let's look at this. The years Michael Jordan won championships. Oh, man, y'all only count them years. So, let's just count those years. Versus LeBron James' years. We see what LeBron James has over here. And we can look without even saying nothing. That Michael Jordan's 6 years of winning championships was greater than LeBron James' entire career, folks. They want you to think that Michael Jordan, in those 6 years winning championships, well, here's your 6 championships. That's what they'll tell you. The LeBron James fans will tell you, oh, you guys only count those 6 championship years. That's all Mike was doing? He was just winning championships. So 91, other than winning the championship, well, in these years, other than winning the championship, this is what Michael Jordan did. 91, MVP, first team defense, all-star, all-NBA first team, finals MVP, scoring champion. That's all Michael Jordan did when he won his first championship. Man, I only count them years he won a championship. See, that's what they want you to think. With Mike was just winning championships. And that's it. 92, MVP. First team defense, all-star. All-NBA first team. Finals MVP, scoring champ. That's all Mike did. He didn't do nothing else. 93 on the three-peat. Right, just running out of gas. How are you running on fumes? You just played in the Olympics. Remember, that wasn't good enough for the LeBron James fans. He had to lead that team in scoring. Anyways, coming off the Olympics and coming off a back-to-back championship, in 93 putting up 41 points per game against a team he wasn't even supposed to beat, really, the Suns. First team defense, steals title, all NBA first, all-star, finals MVP, and scoring champ. Three-peat. 96. MVP, first team defense, all-star, all NBA first, all-star MVP, finals MVP, scoring champ. 97 on a back-to-back. First team defense, all NBA first, all-star, finals MVP, scoring champ. Let's note that when they took Michael Jordan's MVP in 93 and 97, he took it personal. He said, hey, wait, I was supposed to win that. Mike said, I was supposed to win that. Barkley and Malone ain't supposed to win. Look at my numbers. Okay, I'll just win the finals. How about that? I'll just win a three-peat and then another back-to-back. Is that good enough for you? Give me that. Give me that there, girl. Give me that. Does that sound like LeBron James? Man, they took my defensive player of the year. How do you win defensive player of the year and you ain't even got 100 damn blocks at 6'9"? That's crazy. Well, I don't even think he had 200 steals neither. Matter of fact, LeBron James never had 200 steals or 100 blocks in the season. Michael Jordan did that back-to-back seasons. This dude talking about defensive player of the year. But what I'm saying is he didn't go the next year and try to get that defensive player of the year. When Curry won back-to-back MVPs, where he won one, he didn't say, well, no, hell no, I'm getting this one. Remember, this dude was given MVPs on a super team. Not earned, was given. Name any other player that won MVP on a super team. A prime super team. Exactly. So 98, running on fumes, out of gas. We all know this year. MVP, first team defense, all NBA first, all-star finals MVP, all-star MVP, scoring title. This is all Michael Jordan did. In those years, he won a championship. If you take out his accolades of 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, and 90, 6 years of accolades. Take them out. 6 years of accolades. And this is what you got, folks. You still got this. To me, a greater career than LeBron James. A greater career. And we didn't even say the championships because they're obvious. But a great, I know this ain't all LeBron James' resume over here, but it's just what he did in those 4 years he won the championship. Meaning Michael Jordan didn't just have to win championships. He had to do all these other things while winning the championship. And why did that happen? Because Michael Jordan wanted to separate himself. It wasn't no media back then that you could hire to lie and say, yeah, Michael Jordan just separated himself from blah, 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 just because he won 6 championships, just because he did this, just because. No, it had to be on paper. And we had to see it with our own eyes, folks. These 6 years, Michael Jordan had a greater career. It is, here it is. The two different three-peats and 2 different dynasties. So you can say this is what Michael Jordan did. It is 2 different dynasties. These are the accolades. We didn't even put out the points per game in the playoffs, in the finals, and in the regular season, or the stats. All the stats. These are just the accolades. This ain't also the video footage of these memorable playoff games and finals games and regular season games in those 2 different dynasty years. This is just the accolades in the 2 different dynasties that Michael Jordan achieved. Bill Russell ain't touching this. Bill Russell got 11 championships. Okay, fine. He can't touch these accolades. He can't touch Michael Jordan's moments in the finals, the playoffs, the regular season, his stats. Bill Russell ain't touching that. Wilt Chamberlain ain't touching it, what we just talked about. Kobe Bryant ain't touching it. LeBron James ain't touching it. Nobody will ever touch this because this is what Michael Jordan wanted. All this shit didn't happen on accident. All-time great players, their situations don't happen on accident. Tom Brady don't have 7 rings on accident. When they hit this dude with the Spygate, he could have gave up. He came out every season after that and torched them motherfuckers. It was just like, okay, y'all say I need to cheat to win? Okay, how come I'm kicking everybody's ass after the Spygate? I mean, what? To me, the Spygate was bullshit. To me, what it was just, the NFL trying to get attention. And, they took the hit. The Patriots took the hit. They shut their mouth. And I think a lot of teams were doing it too. But they just took the heat. I don't think it was just the Patriots. But they was one of the teams that got caught, and they shut their mouths. It just took the heat. Like Barry Bonds. He wasn't the only one that was juicing, but guess what? He just shut his mouth. He could have went and snitched on everybody. He just shut his mouth. He didn't say that anybody else was doing it. He didn't say he was doing it. He didn't say that MLB was letting everybody do it. Barry Bonds just shut up. That's why it was a crime to do what they did to Barry Bonds, because Barry Bonds just shut his mouth. He didn't play nobody, accuse nobody, or talk ish about the MLB or nothing like that. He just took his hit like he was supposed to. He gave them what they, well, I won't say he gave them what they wanted, but he stayed true to the game. You saw Jose Canseco and all these other fools just throwing names out there, situations out, all this crazy stuff. Barry Bonds just shut his mouth. And to keep that man out of the Hall of Fame, baseball is sad, man. Baseball is sad. Like I said, they use those guys as a smokescreen to keep your mind off of them bringing all them international players in from the Caribbean and replacing all the American players. Because once that steroid shit was over, you looked up and it was just nothing but a whole bunch of people who don't speak English. And I'm gonna say this, yes, I'll probably get some people who listen to my channel from other countries, and or they might live in this country and they might not be foundational American. This ain't against nobody's ethnicity, culture, nationality, whatever. Mad love to whatever you are. I love culture. I love it. I like how people celebrate it. But I'm just giving you a perspective of what I see as a foundational American, as a person in this country, of what I've been seeing. I can't stop you from having a perspective and you telling the truth about what's happening in your country, from your view of being, whatever, nationality you are, whether you're France or you're Mexican or you're Ecuadorian, or you're from Venezuela, or you're from, Australia. I can't stop you from giving that perspective. So it's not about, when I say, all these people don't speak English, or, they brought in all these people from the Caribbean, but I'm not lying though. I'm not lying. When I tell you these things, they put out all the black players, I'm not lying. Go look at the teams in the 90s, the 80s, the 70s. And then go look at them now. Go look at them in the 2010s. This is what they did, folks. This I ain't being racist. I'm just telling you the story. That's all I'm doing. It's all for cheap labor. That's what this world had become. It ain't about who works better or who's a better player. Everything become about cheap labor. Because how the system works, when Bill cheated, Chris looked over and said, well, I want to do what Bill's doing. Bill's making all this money by doing it that way. And then Mark says, well, I want to get in on this. So they all start doing it that way. And that's how the labor market has become what it's been, whether it's sports, whether it's just the regular labor market in general. You're not bringing in people because they're better. You're bringing in people because they're cheaper. And when I say that about baseball, if they're better, what's the proof? How can the Braves just dropped off the map? They're not better. They're great players, no doubt. Because like I said, when I was growing up in, especially in the 90s, we had a mix of players. We had the Latinos, the whites, and black players. It was great. Even in basketball, it was a mix of American, or the NBA. You had international players. The greatest international players was in the 90s. Hands down. We forget that Dominique Wilkins, John Stockton are international players. With Mutombo, with Ewing, with Hakeem, with Shrimp, Drazen Petrov, we had international players. So when I talk about these international players in the 2020s, and I'm not trying to downplay them, I'm only saying that because these ain't the best international players I've ever seen. Not even close. I'm sorry. the international players back in the day, they didn't need defense cut out for them because they were some of the greatest defenders of all time. And some of the greatest offensive players of all time. So when I talk about these 2020 guys, I'm just saying, let's go. Show me something. Let me see these rivalries. Let me see something for these international players that take your rightful spot in the 2020s and take it over. Get you top 5 guys, get LeBron James the hell out of the league. Other than that, you ain't even getting talked about in your own damn league. This is crazy. You ain't even being talked about. Bronny James is more talked about than SGA, who just won the championship. More than Joker. More than most of these guys. He's supposed to be these guys' time. LeBron James is supposed to be a damn afterthought of being a failure, a loser, a meltdown artist, a choke artist. This is what's supposed to be coming from LeBron James. This is what's supposed to be coming from LeBron James right now, in his camp, in his legacy. That's it. So yeah, Michael Jordan 6, like I said, let's go with these guys. I don't have nothing against international people or players or, people's nationality. I love culture. But at the same time, I only can be real about the history that I'm seeing from sports or in the United States. I can't go to somebody else's country and challenge them what they've been seeing in their country, in their history. That would be dumb. That would be dumb. And yes, the United States is a melting pot. I love it. But I can tell you what, my people been melting in this damn pot since the 1600s. I don't believe most of these people, their history is based on some school book. My history is based on genealogy, folks.